My name is Michael Jones. I am a second-year aviation.
Restart.
You didn't even
You wasn't
sit
even
down.
sit down.
My name is Michael Jones. I'm a second-year aviation management major from Atlanta, Georgia.
Hi, my name is Christian Copeland. I'm a second-year aviation management major from Chicago, Illinois.
Hi, my name is Michaela Morris. I'm a second-year aviation major from Atlanta, Georgia.
And my name is Tamari Johnson. I'm a second-year aviation management major with an air traffic control concentration from Hampton, Virginia.
My name is Alexander Lane Stasek. I'm a second-year air traffic control major from Long Island, New York.
My name is Prophecy Wood. I'm a second-year aviation major from upstate New York.
My name is Manaya Nash, second-year aviation management major, entrepreneurship minor from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
My name is Tatiana Bean, a second-year aviation management major from Woodbridge, Virginia.
And my name is Mallory Martin. I'm a second-year aviation management major from Atlanta, Georgia.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about current events in aviation, and one of the biggest current events that is happening in aviation, which is kind of hard to ignore, is the government shutdown and how it's affecting airspaces and air traffic controllers around the world. So we're going to open up the floor to questions, comments on the topic.
I'll start. So first, I'm gonna say, have y'all heard about how they basically reducing flight capacity?
Yes.
I want to ask you how you all feel about it, but first, I want to say that the way aviation works, we already have very congested airspace in the U.S. So typically, the FAA already meters how many flights depart, and that's why we have slot restrictions at a lot of airports. So me personally, I feel like they just did that as a political move because we already have those safeguards in effect for when we have low staffing and stuff like that. But for them to say, oh, we need to cancel all these flights, and then it's at half the airports across the U.S., I feel like it was more so to kind of force the end of the shutdown than to actually solve the problems that are currently affecting our industry.
I agree for sure, because I feel like due to it being such a politically heavy time right now, they need the government to continue running, especially with aviation. I think that is the biggest thing. If we take that away, obviously people are going to do anything to travel and go fly and stuff like that. And also we already have shortages with pilots and air traffic controllers and stuff like that. So to put more pressure on them for not getting paid but still expecting to continue, it's kind of hard to balance both.
Yeah, I agree. It's a shortage, with air traffic controllers, and our president said he just made a comment they need to go back to work when they need a break. There's a lot going on, and I'm just thinking of next week, it's Thanksgiving break. People going home, where we all going home. I don't want our flight to get canceled.
Yeah.
You said that you thought that them closing down airspaces was more of a chess move to
Yeah, it was politically motivated because we already have airspaces in the U.S. in southern Florida and in New York and D.C. that are already very congested, and that are also understaffed, but they don't shut it down for that. And so for them to say, oh, ATC, it's because they're not at work, they don't, we need to shut down the airspace. I feel like it was more politically motivated. For example, Norfolk, our ATC tower is fully staffed right now. We still have people showing up to work. A lot of these airports still have people who are fully staffed or are at the levels that can support their service, so we still have these airports getting shut down, and now it's just affecting people. I would say that our flight schedules in aviation, it's probably, besides the military, one of the biggest things that's kind of fueling the shutdown right now and how people are going about it.
So do you guys think that this chess move from Sean Duffy is going to actually work?
I wouldn't say so.
You say no?
No.
You don't think so?
I think it's going to work because we are not going to go long without, I don't think there's ever going to be a day where there's no air traffic at all. There's not going to be a day where we completely shut it down. So I feel like they're going to do anything to either keep it afloat and reboot it, but there's never going to be a way to shut it down because people need to for example, international flights and stuff like that, they have made that their actual first priority instead of the flights that's happening in the U.S. And I feel like knowing that type of information, we know that there's no way that it's going to get shut down. all the way.
It's almost like the involvement, like, in the world, like, we depend on airplanes. Like, we need it to get our cargo around, food, even the president and his stuff. Like, I don't understand why the airports are even shut down. Not shut down, but just airlines delays.
How do you guys feel about TSA agents and people sneaking in certain illegal items onto airplanes? Do you think that's happening?
Okay, so I actually saw this video. It was one of Texas's airports, and it was like the line was outside of the airport
Houston.
for
Oh,
people
yeah,
to go
I
through
did see
TSA.
that.
And I was just like, that's so crazy because obviously we already, like, the people that don't have pre-check already know, like, you got to get to the airport like 2 hours early so that you can be prepared if it's going to be a long line. And I also feel like TSA agents, most of the time, like, the responsibility of people like missing their flights and stuff, that type of pressure is already put on them. So adding like the government shutdown, I feel like people are finding any way to like continue to bash them and stuff like that. And I'm sure people are being way more ruthless and rude. Like you said, like maybe even adding to, you know, like adding like illegal stuff and stuff like that, like just trying to make it worse for them. I feel bad for them because they're, again, not getting paid.
It's like a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Like the furlough, and then ATC workers are not getting paid, and everybody's really not getting paid.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
sorry.
It's
I'm
all
working
just
on
a
that.
scare tactic, like even with like the, you know, not having school stamps, people that can't eat.
Mhm.
That, you know, Thanksgiving coming up, holidays coming up, no flights. It's just like trying to scare everyone.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I want to bring it back to Mallory's point about how air traffic controllers are working without being paid. Like, could you guys imagine?
No.
Could y'all imagine?
I'm not working.
Could y'all imagine being in like a high stressful job where you have to be focused 24/7 and then having to worry about
Yeah,
going
You're not
home
even
to your
paid.
kids?
They're not even getting paid.
That's wild to me.
And like that's
Some new controllers, like,
Yeah.
you can't even,
And
Like,
they're
they
not
don't
getting
even-
trained
yeah.
either.
And
Our
the
training's
fact
delayed,
that-
too.
The fact that a bunch of them now have to get other part-time jobs outside of
Yes.
their already working overtime at their normal jobs, and then they have to go home and then go back to work and find
Some
something
of
else
them-
at like some like quick pickup job that's
Yeah, like
definitely not paying
DoorDash.
as much just to do stuff like
I
that's
saw
crazy.
a video on TikTok where air traffic controllers DoorDash was like, get his daughter's tuition and all that. I was like, oh my
Yeah,
god,
that's
it's like real.
As an
Yeah.
air traffic controller, that's just sickening. Like, I couldn't imagine going from making like what, 100 to 150K a year to
Nothing.
working DoorDash. Like, that's
Wait,
crazy.
why are they underfunded?
Why are they
Like,
under?
the government just like not paying aviation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not.
well, yeah.
Because it's a government job. So.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then the actual shutdown. Like they defunded the FAA before the shutdown even happened, and then now they have a government shutdown on top of being underfunded.
Yeah.
So it's like a giant dripping trickle effect that's gonna end up imploding in the president's lap if he doesn't do anything about it. Stop.
No,
Are
you do.
you all familiar with the Patco strike in the 80s?
No.
So
Inform us.
back in the 80s when Reagan was president, air traffic controllers, they were still a federal job, but they had their own union. And I don't remember if it was a government shutdown or the government wouldn't approve a new budget for the air traffic controllers or whatever. But all the controllers basically were like, we're gonna go on strike. And Reagan told them, if you don't go back to work, all of you will be fired. And they were like, you can't fire us all because no one else is gonna be able to fill that job.
Yeah.
And Reagan fired every last one of them and then replaced with military air traffic controllers. So that's also why you see we have the ATC shortage now, because all of these people that got pushed in the 80s, they're all retiring, and then people don't want to come into this job because it's high stress, because you have the fact that you're at the mercy of the government. So what I would ask you all, how do you all like how does that make you all feel, especially for you all ATC majors? Like, do you all feel the government respects air traffic controllers, or do you feel like, you know, like
I don't think they respect it.
I feel like there's like certain, I feel like there's certain jobs that just they have to get paid, like, or the whole world's gonna shut down.
There's never been enough emphasis on air traffic controllers. There's always saying that they're understaffed, and you know they're so super crucial and important, but the government really doesn't do enough for them. And they're hiring in their facilities or other training facilities, other college programs. Like, it's for how highly they're valued, they treat them like all the way down here, and it's just I don't understand it.
And I think circling back to the government shutdown, I think the loss of all the airports because of the alleged shortage. I mean, it's not a alleged shortage. There is a shortage, but you know, going back to what Christian said, I think this is going to end up drawing a lot of attention to how important air traffic controllers are and how necessary they are for the government to keep running in general. Like, I think it's very, very important that we have this happen, because now that we have the attention on us, we might get the things that we've been screaming for.
I don't think so.
I think they don't realize how important y'all are. You know, they don't realize, but you said,
I was about to say they're gonna probably wait, not probably, but wait until something
yeah,
not
somebody
traumatic.
happened.
Yeah,
happens
something
to
traumatic
know that
happened.
I see, like, I don't want to say this, but something could potentially happen like 9/11.
I agree.
Like some like people sneak on a plane that's not supposed to be there because it's such understaffed. Many people like TSA, so like people just getting on the plane and could
Or
possibly
they
hijack the
already
plane.
canceled. They want to get on one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think, like Christian said, how they replace it with the military people. If the government gets shut down again, they not gonna get paid either, so they could quit too.
We gotta move.
Me, I'm not doing no one down get paid. So
Yeah. And I feel like, as far as like ATC goes, like I think that's one of the biggest things that you have to think about when you want to do ATC is, will I be able to handle this type of stress and like may not see like the true benefit of it? Like for example, would I still want to do this job and not get paid for it? I'm sorry, but there's no job in the world that's going to make you that happy, especially not one that's such high stress, especially like in a time like this.
I actually disagree. I think I would do it and not get paid.
That's what I was about to ask. I was about to ask y'all.
No.
Since we're going into when we're already like majoring in
Yeah.
aviation and stuff, and we're being pilots, ATC, whatever. How do you guys feel like it's gonna happen for us when we graduate and we're trying to get into the workplace?
Hopefully the government shutdown is ended by then. But
I mean, hopefully it's ended, but like just saying like 2 years from now, oh, we're back. We're furloughed. Because it's 40, this is the longest, I believe so, the
I feel
longest
like
it's been.
at that point I'd be providing for not only just me. So at that point I probably wouldn't work for that reason. I would go into something that would pay me, like my secondary job.
So it doesn't make y'all question your field right now.
For me,
Yeah.
okay, I feel like I question aviation just because it's like, although it's something that I don't see ever like we're ever going to get rid of, they already make it hard enough for us to even do it. Like for example, like getting flight ratings and stuff like that. If you want to become a pilot, you have to invest not in like for us, for y'all example, y'all have to invest not only in getting your degree but also paying all this money to get your like certificates and licenses and stuff like that. So I feel like it's already a hard career that you kind of have to commit to, and I think it is scary like to go through something like this and not like feel the security of like we could all walk out here and not get a job, and then like what would happen next? So that's why like for me personally, that's why I have a minor that I feel like I can do something else with, and I think like doing stuff like that kind of helps like prevent things like this from not happening, but it just makes you more aware, yeah, like to have a backup plan, because nothing is going to have 100% security.
what's your goal?
Entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I think this is an important reason. Like all of what we're saying is also it's important to understand why, like what industry we're getting into. Aviation is very cyclical. It destroys itself every 10 years. You had the Gulf War, then you had 9/11, then you had the financial crisis, then you had swine flu, then you had COVID-19, and now we're seeing, airlines we're seeing a shift in the way people travel, and that's affecting the airlines' money. That's the whole reason why Spirit is going bankrupt right now, is because people rather just pay the little extra money, and then the airlines figured out how to siphon off the rest of Spirit's remaining passengers. You see Delta and United making a push towards a premium traffic, because that's what's driving revenue right now, and that's why you see Americans struggling a little bit with their financials, but American has the least amount of debt of all the airlines, while United has the most. So who's to say in 10 years United is not going to be in a position where they're failing and American's on top. So I feel like keeping stuff like that in mind, understanding that there is no king or queen in aviation, like it all repeats itself, everything changes. So where we're at right now may not what it be in 10 years when we graduate, And that goes for ATC and pilots alike.
I got a question. Do you think if we got a new administration that the air traffic controllers would be cared about more or less?
It depends on who. It just depends.
Yeah,
it
I do.
depends.
I think they still, I think maybe people or the government still just don't realize how important they are, and for some gotta happen. I mean, well, you know, the crashes in early, like January, you would think maybe that would.
The one that happened in DC, right?
It was multiple.
They just
I don't
slapped a
think they
Band-Aid
ever
on it.
cared.
Yeah, I feel
They
like
just that's
They
the
didn't get
unfortunate
enough
thing about the
attention.
FAA is they're very reactionary, and even in the NTSB is telling them all these things to do, and the FAA is like, okay, so you said to completely get rid of helicopter routes and to staff our airports, but what we're going to do is we're just going to close down the helicopter routes at DCA only to civilian traffic, police and military, and the president can still use it, and then everything will be fine. And we're still having, you know, close calls, and we're still having runway incursions. We're still having all these issues where you have a breakdown in communication because we don't have enough people in the tower. Did you all kind of like, are you all familiar with what happened in Newark as well over the summer where they were having those outages where ATC wasn't being able to communicate with pilots for like minutes at a time? And so nobody really knew what was going on.
I
You
think
had
the
planes in
longest
the air.
was like 13 minutes or something.
Yeah, you
like
had
that.
planes who were in the air coming into the field and they just couldn't talk to ATC at all. So, you know, it's stuff like that. We need a lot of stuff going into our aviation industry from the federal government, and we're just not getting it right now.
Also,
Such high stakes.
I said like, I think a crash or something, incident have to happen, but I don't think it's just the incident. I think like, in the government, who like Trump or like whoever is running, one of their family members gonna have to get hurt before they actually want to change it or care.
It's gonna
Yeah.
take
It's
somebody
other
To
people
have some
they're
type
not
of
caring.
compassion.
It's always like that with rich people. They're not
Yeah.
affected until it affects something
The
that they
person
truly
is
care
rich,
about.
They don't care.
It's rich people, but it's also old people.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of 70, 80-year-olds in office. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on with that?
I think it's because they don't realize how drastic right now is compared to when they were able to get things that like are basic necessities, like a home, start a family, get a job that like pays you a decent amount. They don't understand like that's basically impossible right now. Like you have to have 4 jobs that make like a good amount of money, like double digits money, just to stay afloat. Which I feel like is so insane and crazy when like they're the same people that's telling us to go out and work, like we're trying, hire us or
Yeah, like,
retire. They not even retiring.
It's like so cheap. It's not the same. Everything is, you know, costs more.
Yeah.
They don't get that. Or they just think just because they work this many jobs,
Back
you
in
want
the
to do
day.
that.
Yeah.
I don't want
I
to
had to
slave.
do this, I had to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, times have changed, inflation, all type of stuff. So
Like,
it's like,
for example, my great grandmom, she's in
A few moments later.
I've seen how the DC crash council was talking about it being DEI because it was
I
a
saw
Hispanic
that.
pilot
Yes.
and the UPS crash happened. He said absolutely nothing. It was 3 white men.
Oh my goodness.
my thing is he's not like the ideal phenotype either. He that's
All right, Pro. What are your thoughts? Got 4 minutes.
Well, I researched personally. You know the supersonic flight ban back in like 1980 something. He like revoked it in 2025 in June. So how do you guys like feel about that? This is gonna make like flights shorter and stuff.
Crazy.
That's what a lot of lobbying from that new company that's trying to make supersonic jet gets you.
Which
It's that,
one?
Boom.
Oh,
Boom
that's what.
Aerospace. I don't think they're gonna get it. I mean, they can, but it's a reason supersonic flight failed. It's not affordable, and then you want to put 50 seats in a supersonic jet, and like
Hope everything happens.
literally
perfectly.
nobody's gonna be able to afford that.
It's gonna be outrageous.
And
Literally.
how much faster?
And why?
20
is the
minutes?
question.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Because of like
it'll be like twice as fast. It'll be 3
Okay.
hours from New York to London compared to 7. But the issue is the reason they had the ban over the U.S. in the first place.
It's the noise, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it
because
makes a
when
lot
they
of noise.
the noise, but also when you go Mach 1 and you do pass that threshold, you have a sonic boom in that destroys everything that's underneath.
Yeah, but shit.
It'll break windows, it'll set off car alarms, things like that.
You guys think like supersonic flight might congest the airspace more too?
It would.
They're not going to be able to. So when the Concorde was still in service, they had their own altitude. So we have airspace restrictions on supersonic jets, so you can't go supersonic below the Echo that restarts at 60,000 feet. So if you're in the Alpha, Bravo, anything like that, you can't go supersonic. There's a speed limit.
I was thinking like, yeah, like I don't know if you saw the Top Gun Maverick movie, but how he was like dang near in outer space with the Dark Star. But like he was going like Mach 10.
I know what you're
I
saying.
didn't watch that. I
Oh
didn't watch it
man.
either.
Well, have you seen the original Top Gun?
No.
No.
Oh yeah, no. That's like being a marching band, not watching drum line.
Not for real.
Oh.
Aviation movie?
Huh?
Is it aviation?
It teaches
Yeah.
you how to be the best pilot.
Okay, let me.
We're gonna watch Top Gun.
Okay, we're gonna watch Top. Yeah, let's watch Top Gun.
Professor Walton, you're watching this. We're watching Top Gun in a class, please. I'll pay for it.
Last day of school.
That should be our final.
Yeah.
That should be
Yeah,
the final.
let that
That should be
go.
fun.
Notes.
Yeah.
All right, that is all that we have time for today. We will see you guys in a later episode, maybe next semester. Hopefully not.
Bye.